ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगीव यस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Verse 39 प्रतीतिकाल एवैते सितत्वात् प्रातिभासिके न हि स्वप्नप्रबुद्धस्य पुनः स्वप्ने स्थितिस्तयोः. So the author is considering the Vedantic teaching in this verses beginning from verse 32nd, and he in this is just a summary kind of a thing. Well, he introduces three jivas. Earlier he talked about three types of seers. Now he introduces three jivas, Pratibhasika jiva, Vyavaharika jiva and Paramarthika jiva. Pratibhasika jiva is a Chidabhasa associated with the dream body, mind and sense organs. And when I identify with that, I am called Pratibhasika jiva or the dream jiva. Vyavaharik jiva is the Chidabhasa associated with the waking body, sense organs and the mind, and when I am identified with that, I am called Vyavaharika jiva or the waking jiva. And Paramarthik jiva is the one who does not identify with either a dream jiva or a waking jiva. Well, I identify with the chit, consciousness. Well, that is called Paramarthika jiva. So these three jivas have been introduced, and now in verse 39 he says that this the waker jiva and this waking world are just false projection as the dreamer jiva and the dream world also. So they are all mithya. This is described in a great detail in a second chapter of Mandukya Karika, Vaitatya Prakaranam. So here, well, author says that even though both this waking and the dream are unreal, there is a gradation in their in unreality. Because of this gradation alone, this waking is called Vyavaharikam and the dream is called Pratibhasikam. Both are projection, but there is a difference. There is a gradation in reality, and therefore one is called Vyavaharikam, other is a Pratibhasikam. Why is dream called Pratibhasikam? So, well, even though the waker's world is unreal, there is a continuity for this waking world, and then the waking world has an empirical reality. It does not have absolute reality, being a projection, but has a transactional reality. However, the dream does not have, well, any continuity from one dream to the another. Dream world exists as long as it is experienced. When a particular dream is over, the world associated with it, well, ceases to exist. You cannot retrieve the dream world again. So dream does not have an empirical reality, objective reality or continuing reality. So we cannot call it as a Vyavaharikam. So when the dream is experienced, it is real for only the dreamer. So it is called Pratibhasikam. Whatever has got a temporary reality or existence, well, during its appearance is called Pratibhasikam, subjective. After waking up from a dream, well, the same dream never continues while dreaming again. So that's how this is. One is pratibhasikam, whereas in the waking world, well, if you go to sleep and you come back, same waking world you experience, right? So that's how, even though it is also a projection, but we'll make a little change. We give a different name called, one is a vyavaharikam, other is a pratibhasikam. One is a subjective world, other is an objective world. So everyone experiencing the same world, even though it's a projection, the waking world. Everyone experiences the same. Whereas the dream world, you only experience at the time of dreaming. Then afterwards you come back. I mean, you wake up and again go to sleep and start dreaming. Well, you cannot retry that dream world which you have experienced before. So that way, that's a little difference. Even though both are projection, both are unreal, still there is a difference. So one is vyavaharikam, available for transaction for all, whereas a dream world is pratibhasikam, available for transaction for the dreamer while dreaming once. Now verse number 40. So pratiti kale eva ete स्थितत्वात् एते स्थितत्वात् प्रतीतिकाले एव प्रातिभासिके नहि स्वप्न प्रबुद्धस्य पुनः स्वप्ने स्थितिः तयोः. Basically, so Jiva and Jagat, the dreamer and the dream world, well, basically which are available in the dream, they are called subjective reality because they exist only during that period of their appearance in the dream. When the dreamer wakes up, so swapna prabuddhasya, swapnat prabuddhaha, swapna prabuddhaha. So when the dreamer wakes up from one dream and goes to another, the dreamer and the dream world of the previous dream are not there. Let's read verse number 40. These are simple things, so we'll go fast. Pratibhasika jivo yastat jagat pratibhasikam vastavam manyatenyastu mithyeti vyavaharikah. So the waker jiva never accepts the waking world as unreal as long as he is ignorant of the higher nature of the I. So this jiva looks upon the waker's world as absolute reality, even though it is another projection consisting of the simple names and forms without any substantiality of its own. We know very well now the substantiality is of Satchit. There is no substance in this, even the waking world, even though all the objects look so tangible, but the tangibility belongs to only Satchit. That doesn't belong to any name and form. Name and form has no addition, in fact. So, however, a Jnani, well, of course, who claims that he is neither a Pratibhasika Chidabhasa nor a Vyavaharika Chidabhasa, but he is a Paramarthika Jiva, while he understands even this Vyavaharika Jagat, the waking world, and even the waker, both as a Mithya. So, there is an important difference that, well, needs to be noted. So, when I wake up from the dream and understand that I am not the dream Jiva, but I am waker Jiva, the dream physically disappears. But when I wake up from this Vyavaharika dream through self-knowledge and claim I am Paramarthika Jiva, well, this world does not instantaneously disappear. The Vyavaharika Jiva and the Vyavaharika Jagat, the waker and the waking world, will continue to appear for some more time. Due to what? Due to power of Prarabdha Karma. And one example that is given to illustrate this is a blue sky, right, which we experience in a waking world. Well, it continues to appear even after the knowledge that there is no blue sky. Other example is the sunrise and sunset. Thus, there are two types of unreality. One that physically disappears after the knowledge, and other that continues to appear even after the knowledge, that is unreal. So that is what Mithya is actually. So sense organs, well, will continue to report the world. Sense organs also is Mithya, right? And behind sense organs, who is reporting? Sense organs report to the mind. Mind is Mithya. And the very Ahankara which appears as Aham Vritti in the mind, the Chidabhasa, is also Mithya. So the transaction between the Mithya, we call waker, well, the Vyavaharika Jiva, is also Mithya. So sense organ will continue to report the world as it is, even after the world is known to be unreal. But the cognitive understanding is of the unreal nature of the world remains. So Gnani Jiva knows this, that waking world, the waker both is mithya, and therefore Anta Satyam is only Paramarthika Jiva. Paramarthika Jiva, he is going to say now, Paramarthika Jiva alone lends that Satchidananda, etc. to the Vyavarika and then to the Pratibhasika. Verse number 42. Paramarthika jivastu brahmaikyam paramarthikam pratyeti vikshate nanyate vikshate tvanrutatmana. So this Pratibhasika jiva sees the dream world as real while dreaming. And when he wakes up and becomes the Vyavarika jiva, waker, the dream world becomes unreal and the waking world seems real now. And when the Vyavarika jiva wakes up further, self-knowledge, and recognizes that he is a Paramarthika jiva, waking world becomes unreal. And the oneness of the waker, the Vyavarika jiva, with Brahman, with Paramarthika jiva is recognized. I am Brahman is a fact for that jiva. So by constant Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, etc., he retains that fact in the surface of the mind all the time. So gaining the knowledge, of course, is relatively easier. But the problem is that knowledge which is gained in our intellect at the time of Shravanam does not come to a rescue in a different life situations in a waking world. Because the relative personality of the jiva, well, basically as a father, mother, etc., is still prominent. So that that one considers oneself as a waker, the Vyavarika jiva, as a reality. Behind that, I am a Paramarthika jiva actually, that is a reality I didn't know. Or even if I know, well, these things are still prominent. Vyavarika jiva, the waker is prominent, and therefore I am father, I am mother, etc. are prominent. And therefore the different problems associated with this Vyavarika jiva as a father, mother, etc., well, they also continue to haunt me. So just gaining knowledge through Shravanam is not sufficient, but establishing, abiding in the knowledge, well, is required. The fact that, well, one is a Paramarthika jiva should be foremost in the mind. That's the only reality of I. I is equal to this only. Even if I don't know, I is a Paramarthika jiva. If you know, it's of advantage. If you don't know, it's of not advantage to you. So you remain in delusion that you are a Vyavarika jiva, you are the waker, you are a dreamer, and this is a waking world. As a waker you are real, then the waking world also is real. And as a waker, then of course you are a father, mother, this, that, etc. And then there are certain situations. All the problems associated as a father, mother, etc. also continue to be real. And that haunts the person. Anyway. So this is, gaining abidance in the knowledge that I am Paramarthika jiva, I am Brahman, etc. is very, very essential. So I am a Paramarthika jiva should be foremost in the mind. So even in absence of that, well, definitely even a wise person also gets dragged into the status of a Vyavarika jiva. So long Shravanam, Nididhyasanam, etc. is very much required. That's how Sureshwaracharya ji, well, says that this is a lifelong process, especially the abidance. One may gain, depending upon one's capacity, one may gain a clarity as such that I am Brahman. But, again, getting deviated from that. Deviation from that I am a Paramarthika jiva. And that deviation continue to be there for a length of time. That I am a Vyavarika jiva, I am a waker, I am a father, mother, etc. I am Swami, etc. That remains foremost in our intellect. And then, well, definitely our Vyavara also get affected with that. So, that is established as a Paramarthika jiva will not invoke this Vyavarika jiva and Pratibhasika jiva beyond what is necessary. Once you know I am a Paramarthika jiva, then you know that you become a Vyavarika jiva for a Vyavara, well, and that is the role playing. Even a Pratibhasika Jiva. Of course, we are not worried about Pratibhasika Jiva, dreamer, etc. Because that we knock out as we wake up. But as a waker, as a Vyavarika Jiva, while transacting, while doing a Vyavara, since that is a reality for us, well, the whole Vyavara becomes a burden for us. So, if you know that you are a Paramarthika Jiva and these are the various roles you are playing, well, then you will effortlessly play the role and move to the next situation, etc. So even as he transacts in these roles, he constantly remembers that these are all mithya, basically. I am Paramarthika Jiva, Brahman is the reality. If it is forgotten, then the waker becomes reality, and even the world also, waking world, etc. also becomes a reality. And then the world's capacity to bind this Vyavarika Jiva, the waker, is powerful. Verse 43. Madhuryadravashaityani Neeradharmastarangake Anugamyath tannishte Fenepyanugata yatha. So why is it said that Vyavarika Jiva and Pratibhasika Jiva are mithya and the Paramarthika Jiva alone is satyam? While it is very easy to accept that the dream Jiva is mithya, it is very difficult to accept that the waker Jiva, while the Vyavarika Jiva is mithya. That's very difficult right now, because right now I am a Vyavarika Jiva, let us say. But I don't think it is mithya. And I am a Paramarthika Jiva, it's a reality. This is I am playing a role, etc. This is just, that kind of a thing never occurs to us. So why it is like that? So author says, well, the Paramarthika Jiva alone has its own Satchidananda. I mean, Paramarthika Jiva alone is a Satchidananda. Whereas the Vyavarika Jiva, does not have Sat of its own, Chit of its own, Ananda of its own, independently. Paramarthika Jiva lends, this to this Vyavarika Jiva, Chidabhasa, etc. Because it's a Chidabhasa ultimately. So therefore, being a Chidabhasa, definitely it is borrowed. So what is borrowed, especially the borrowed Ananda, etc. is not permanent. Even the existence is not permanent. You see, the waker has existence, correct. But waker's existence is during waking state, right? And as a waker, the consciousness also is there. That consciousness is also borrowed. Existence is borrowed. And the waker undergoes varieties of situations, in which few situations are there where he gains certain Ananda. That also is momentary. And that is also borrowed. So then what is the source of this Satchidananda for a Vyavarika Jiva, for the waker? Well, Paramarthika Jiva alone is the Brahman, that is Satchidananda. So basically, Vyavarika Jiva borrows. And what is borrowed, especially the borrowed Ananda especially, is not permanent, which results into samsara. And once you gain Ananda in a waking state, and you want to remain in that state permanently, but that arises as a vritti, Priyamoda, Pramoda vritti in the mind. And the vrittis are basically temporary, so it goes away. And then basically, and when it goes away, they keep you in a high and dry condition, and therefore you again want it. And you strive for that, to gain that. So as Pujya Swami used to say that, once you know your height, you cannot settle for anything less than that. So that's your height. So you gain that Ananda. Of course, it is Ananda of yourself only, but you don't know. Then, you strive again to get that Ananda. That's how it is. Between two moments of joy, person struggles, right? Person struggles. You have tasted that your fullness, your wholeness, your acceptance of yourself. You have undergone that experience, and now you want that again. So you strive. This is called samsara. A struggle to gain Ananda, struggle to actually to become full is called samsara. Anyway, so and then Vyavarika Jiva lends this Satchidananda. So Vyavarika Jiva borrows Satchidananda from Paramarthika Jiva, Brahman, and then Vyavarika Jiva lends Satchidananda to what? Pratibhasika Jiva. So Pratibhasika Jiva has borrowed from Vyavarika Jiva, Sachidananda, and Vyavarika Jiva has borrowed Sachidananda from Paramarthika Jiva. So author gives for this a very brilliant example to explain the sequential borrowing of Sachidananda. They say imagine a lake, well, or an ocean, and upon the lake there is a wave. So there is a bubble upon that wave. So attributes of water are basically borrowed by the wave and are given to the bubble. So in this example, the water is a Paramarthika Jiva, the wave is a Vyavarika Jiva, and the bubble is a Pratibhasika Jiva. So water has three distinct attributes. That's what he said here. Madhuryadi. So Madhurya Drava Shaityam. Here Madhuryam means it has a sweetness, means it has a unique taste, water. Dravam, liquidity. Shaityam, coolness. These three properties are there in the water. That's the nature of water actually. And water has these three intrinsic attributes, we can say, unique taste, liquidity and coolness, to touch. These three attributes of water pervade the wave. And so the small bubble on the top of the wave also has these three attributes. So water does not give the three attributes directly to the bubble. Of course, water lends the attributes to the wave, these three attributes to the wave, and the wave in turn lends these three attributes to the bubble. So exactly as in this example, we are experiencing also three attributes, intrinsic attributes of the Paramarthika Jiva, Satchit Ananda. So we are Paramarthika Jiva like water, similar to water. And the Vyavarika Jiva is like the temporary wave. And the Pratibhasika Jiva is like still more temporary, like bubble. So the example is described, it's a very beautiful example. So example is described in this verse, and the teaching which is explained well in the next verse, 44. Very simple verses. So Madhurya Drava Shaityani Nira Dharmaha. Nira Dharma means the attributes, intrinsic attributes of Nira. Nira means water. Tarangake. So intrinsic attributes of the water, Tarangake, they appear in the wave. Anugamyatha tannishte fene api anugata yatha. Anugamyaha. These three attributes are anugamyaha, followed in wave from the water. Fene api anugataha. Fene, phenum. Phenum means a form or a bubble rather. So they are anugataha. They are followed, these three intrinsic attributes of the water, which are followed in the wave, and they are also followed in the bubble. And that is now compared. This is example. Now this is explained in our case of our three jivas also. Verse 44. Sakshistha Satchidanandaha Sambandhad Vyavaharike Tadvarena Anugachanti Tathaiva Pratibhasike. So similar to the example which is cited, I am Paramarthika Jiva, which is like the water, which is called Sakshi. In our Drsya Viveka we know. If you remember, when the individual is analyzed, which is a composite entity of three seers, there we saw the seer number 1, seer number 2, seer number 3. Seer number 1, the sense organs. Well, and what is seen? The world. Seer number 2 is what? Mind. Is also conscious. And then what is seen? The sense organs. Sense organs are seen. The mind is the seer. Then the mind is seen. And then what is the seer? Seer number 3 is what? The Sakshi, the witness consciousness. Definitely, one's own experience reveal that. One talks about one's own mind. Therefore, one experiences one's own mind, thoughts, varieties of thoughts. Then who is experiencing? Who is seeing the mind? Well, definitely witness consciousness. So here it says that witness consciousness, which is Satchidananda, these are the intrinsic attributes of the Satchidananda. As the attribute. Intrinsic attributes, that means nature. So, or the Sakshi, or even a Paramarthika Jiva here now, and whose intrinsic attribute is nature is Satchidananda. And because I am always existent and I do not have birth or death, I claim mortality if I claim I am a water. If I claim that I am the wave, the Vyavarika Jiva, well, then I have problems. The life conditions basically, of the wave depend on the wind and not on itself. Similarly, the life conditions of the Vyavarika Jiva depends on karma. Like, the wind, here karma. Vyavarika Jiva, this waker, well, its condition, it depends on the wind. Which is the wind? Karma, prarabdha karma. And so if you claim a Vyavarika Jiva, you consider yourself with a temporary existence, right? Naturally. And the situation will be still worse if I claim I'm a bubble, Pratibhasika Jiva, dreamer, and whose life is even a shorter life compared to even a waker's life. So while it is very unintelligent to claim that I am a dreamer, nobody claims, but I'm just, they compare. If you claim I am a bubble like, and then you claim a very temporary existence of yourself which you don't like. Even if you claim as a waker Jiva, Vyavarika Jiva, like a wave, then you also, it is a definitely temporary existence. Wave has a temporary existence. Compared to that, bubble has a even much shorter life. So this is what it says. To identify with the Vyavarika Jiva or the Pratibhasika Jiva, waker, dreamer, etc., well, that is very unintelligent, because you are claiming you have a very short existence and which you don't like. Means I have a mortality, I am a mortal being, you will say, and that you don't like because you love immortality, because that's your nature basically. And and so one should claim oneself as a Parmarthika Jiva, which is always Sat. Sat means which is always existent. The consciousness is one which is self-existent. Being self-existent, it is nature. What is self-existent does not depend upon anything else for its existence. That's called self-existence. If something exists on account of something else, it is not self-existent. And therefore, definitely, I am a Paramathika Jiva. If you claim, then well, definitely, you will not have a mortality. Even because immortality is your nature, and that you claim it also. So anyway, this is called moksha, freedom from the sense of mortality. That only brings a fear in one's life, fear of death, etc. So claiming the water status compared to the wave and the bubble is a wise thing, because nothing affects you. Wind affects a bubble, wind affects a wave. Same way, karma affects this Vyavarika Jiva. Even karma affects a Pratibhasika Jiva. Yeah, what you experience in the dream, and in that experience there is a Sukha Dukkha, pleasure and pain. Therefore, Prarabdha is there. Prarabdha only gets suspended when person definitely doesn't experience Sukha or Dukkha, and that is deep sleep state. It's a suspension of Prarabdha. And then once you wake up, again you start experiencing. So you are under the effect of karma as a Vyavarika Jiva as well as a Pratibhasika Jiva. If you claim yourself a Paramarthika Jiva, if you claim yourself water, then wind does not affect you. So I should claim I am a Paramarthika Jiva and not the Vyavarika Jiva or a Pratibhasika Jiva. This Paramarthika Jiva alone is called Sakshi in this verse. Sakshisthaha Satchidanandaha. Satchidanandaha. So as though three attributes, Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is Chit, Chit is Ananda. Consciousness alone is self-existent, consciousness is limitless. And therefore there is nothing, there is one Atma or Brahman which has three attributes. And it's nothing. Sat goes out. Chit says you go out, I will be here inside the body. As a consciousness I remain inside. It tells to Sat, you go out, and lends existence to everything. And then Ananda remains hidden, and that will manifest in different situations. Nothing like that. The consciousness alone is self-existent. You cannot deny consciousness. To deny consciousness, you require consciousness. We should understand very well. To deny consciousness, you require consciousness. That's how one is not able to deny oneself. You can deny everything in the creation. You can negate everything in the creation. But the very negator always remains. And therefore, the consciousness which even is a witness of even the absence of everything remains. So it remains in all the three states. And therefore consciousness is self-existent. And that consciousness has no boundary. That one experiences in deep sleep state, which experiences the absence of everything, that consciousness has no boundary. Boundary belongs to the object of consciousness, that is body, mind, etc. Even the Chidavasa, the Ahankara has a boundary, naturally, because it manifests in a medium called mind. Definitely it has a location, it is limited, definitely. But the consciousness as such has no boundary. Everything is pervaded by consciousness. Therefore Ananda. Ananta eva Ananda. Therefore I, who is a Paramarthika Jiva, Satchidananda, well, is the reality of me. And this the Satchidananda associated to Vyavarika Jiva, well, is a borrowed thing. It comes and goes. Therefore it's not nature. Vyavarika Jiva exist, correct, but not self-existent, because his existence is limited. Whatever has a temporary existence will borrow the existence. Whatever has a temporary existence is always a borrowed existence. Always. See in the examples, you will find the examples. Whatever is having a temporary ananda is always a borrowed ananda. That's how it is. And you can see that. You can take any example, like a heat in the water, temporary, borrowed. Heat in the fire, not temporary. Fire, heat. Heat, fire. If heat is not there, fire is not there. Fire is there, heat is there. If fire is not there, heat is not there. Heat is not there, fire is not there. All the time associated. It becomes intrinsic. It's its nature. Heat in the water, temporary, borrowed from fire. What is temporary attribute is always borrowed. What is associated all the time is intrinsic, not incidental. So this is how simple rules. Therefore, exist, Viveka exists, correct. Vyavarika Jiva exists for some time. Therefore borrowed. Borrowed from what? What is self-existent? What is self-existent? Can alone lend. What is existence by nature? Can lend the existence to this Jiva, Vyavarika Jiva, and even Pratibhasika Jiva also exist temporarily. Even Anda, who experienced as a dreamer or a waker, is also temporary, therefore borrowed. And so the Chidavasa associated with this temporary body, etc., mind senses, well, is a Vyavarika Jiva. And the same well Satchidananda is given to the Pratibhasika Jiva by the Waker. Waker has borrowed from the Paramarthika Jiva, Satchidananda. And now Waker has Satchidananda. That is borrowed by the Pratibhasika Jiva, the dreamer. And we know very well, we say in different words. The Waker's mind alone gives consciousness to the dream body, dream mind, dream senses. Dream body is a dreamer, definitely a conscious entity. Then who is lending because it's the Waker's mind which is conscious, that alone. In that mind alone, this dream body, etc. appears, dream world appears. Whole dream world shines in that consciousness of the Waker's mind. Anyway. So verse 45 now. लयेफेनस्य सत्तद्धर्माः द्रवाद्यास्युत्तरङ्गके तस्यापि विलये नीरे तिष्ठन्त्येते यथा पुरा. So the author now is going in a reverse order. We started with Paramarthika Jiva, borrowed by Vyavarika, then borrowed by Pratibhasika, etc. Now reverse order. So previously talked about the three attributes of the water that go to the wave, and then from the wave to the bubble. Suppose bubble burst. Now reverse. So bubble burst or resolves. What happens to three attributes which bubble has? That unique taste and liquidity and then coolness. Well, what happened? Coolness to the touch. I mean, these three attributes which were there in the bubble. Now bubble has burst. Then where it has gone? The attributes are not destroyed. Bubble has destroyed, but the attributes are not destroyed. When the bubble burst, well, that goes to the wave. Because really speaking, if bubble gets destroyed and well coolness and the liquidity etc., coolness to the touch, the unique taste and the liquidity also destroys, then definitely they are the intrinsic attributes of the bubble. But it doesn't happen that way. So attributes remains with the wave now. So when the wave resolves, definitely the attributes attributes are not destroyed. This unique taste, the liquidity and coolness to the touch, these three attributes, if wave gets destroyed, which were there in the wave, we feel that they belong to wave, but when wave is destroyed, they are not destroyed, but remain with the water. So the condition that the water that is obtained in the wave and the bubble, well, remains after the resolving of the wave and the bubble also. So therefore, these three attributes really belong to the water only. It does not belong to the wave. So he shows in a reverse order that if that bubble gets destroyed, these three attributes remain. That remains with the wave. So therefore, definitely wave must have the bubble must have borrowed from the wave. So bubble get destroyed, but the attributes are not destroyed. So they are really not the intrinsic attributes of the wave, bubble. Same way wave is also destroyed, but still these three attributes remain with the water. So water must be the source of these three attributes to the wave and ultimately to the bubble. So in the same way, when the dream jiva resolves, well, the Satchidananda never get destroyed. The dreamer resolves, the existence resolves. No. Maker is. So definitely, so the consciousness also, the dreamer was a conscious being. So well, the dreamer is destroyed now. So then consciousness also is destroyed. The conscious being is destroyed. No. Maker is a conscious being. So therefore, the Satchidananda never get destroyed. But to get resolved into the Veka jiva. At the time of dissolution of the Veka jiva, well, the Satchidananda is not destroyed, but remain with the Sakshi, the Paramarthika jiva. So, this is what author elaborates in this last verse, 46. Pratibhasika jivasya laye syurvyavarike tallaye Satchidanandaha paryavasyanti sakshini. So when the dream jiva basically resolves upon waking up from the dream, the Satchidananda that was present in the dream comes back to the Veka jiva. So the I am is common in to all the jivas, Paramarthika, Vyavarika and Pratibhasika. So I being the consciousness and am being the existence, Satchit. So the I am is a Satyam, and anything that is added to that I am. So I am a waker, I am a dreamer, or I am a Vyavarika jiva, I am a Pratibhasika jiva, etc. Well, what is added is mithya, because that doesn't remain all the time. So the Veka jiva is dissolved during other states. So these three states are even the Veka jiva is dissolved in other three states, like in a deep sleep state, it is not there. In a death, the Veka jiva is not there. Dissolution of the universe, it is not there. In a Videha Mukti, it is not there. So at the time of a deep sleep and death, or the total dissolution of the universe, which are temporary states, the Veka jiva is temporarily dissolved. Upon Videha Mukti, the Veka jiva is resolved completely, permanently, and remain as a Sakshi Chaitanyam, one with the Brahman, or Paramarthika jiva. So Sakshi does not and cannot resolve. I, the Sakshi, is always present. And in me alone, the waves and bubbles of the creation arise and fall. So one should abide as the Sakshi and not get carried away by the various roles as a Vyavarika Jiva or a Paramarthika Jiva, generally as or a Pratibhasika Jiva, which come and go. What comes and go must be the role. Actor cannot go anywhere. The roles will appear in him and goes away. So life, that play, well, which goes on in me, the Sakshi. If one knows oneself as a Paramarthika Jiva, the Sakshi, then life becomes a play. Otherwise, if you identify with the role as such, take it as a reality, then the problems which are associated with the role becomes your problem. So as the Jiva, well, the various mithya roles should be played to the fullest and in appropriate manner, but Sakshi, which is Satyam, and the true nature of the Jiva should never be forgotten. So this is a few verses beginning from the 32nd and onwards to 46, where the author looks upon the whole thing in a little differently in form of three jivas: Paramarthika Jiva, Vyavarika Jiva, and Pratibhasika Jiva, in which these two jivas are mithya. Paramarthika Jiva alone is Satyam. That alone is adhisthana of other two. Paramarthika Jiva alone lends existence, consciousness, and ananda to the Vyavarika Jiva and Pratibhasika Jiva. So he has shown, in both the ways, in both the orders. So even in reverse order also he has shown. So with this, we have completed Drsya, Viveka. And so next time we'll see the summary of this, and then we will continue with the Panchadashi, because Panchadashi is still few chapters are there. So we'll continue with the Panchadashi rather than starting a new text. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday also will continue with the Panchadashi only, temporarily. So this Drsya Viveka, I will give you the summary next class, and then we'll continue with the Panchadashi, even on Fridays. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.